We just had AEW All In 2024 emanating live from London Wembley, and this was an absolute bangover show. Absolute bangover show from start to the very finish, and we'll get on to that finish. We'll get on to that main event because boy, was that a main event of the ages. It's one of those main events people will talk about for a very, very long time. So let's get into the very first match, and that was the trios title match between who was in there. There was the Patriarchy, there was House of Black, there was who else was in there? There was the gang, bang bang gang. There was oh yeah, obviously the winners, the BCC, with Pac. Is Pac going to be a continuous part of the BCC? I'd like to hope so. He's the only British part about the BCC. But anyway, this was a really good match. We saw Christian obviously run away in the very beginning, and then he came out to try and grab the titles when the opportunity struck. This match was pure chaos, as you'd expect from a trios ladder match, but good chaos in a way. But I expected a bit more. I don't know why I expected more, but to be honest, looking at the show as a whole, I'm glad there wasn't more on this match. This was a good start, hot crowd, exciting moments for the crowd to get into. It fits its job. It did exactly what it's meant to do. That's all it is. Quick side note: Juice Robinson will never have kids again. He got pushed off the very, very, very tall ladder onto the ring ropes. Never having kids again. And then there was a couple moments with Christian basically trying to grab the titles for himself the whole time, and Killswitch's only job was to help him grab the titles. So yeah, not looking good in the Patriarchy, is it? But huge hometown crop, home country pop for Pac as he was able to grab the trios titles for himself, Wheeler Yuta, and Claudio Castagnoli. That was honestly great stuff. Huge pop for him. He deserved it. He missed All In last year due to injury. His position on the card was a bit, what are you going to do? He gets a nice hometown pop, and he wins some gold in Wembley. We then moved on to the women's match of the year. In all companies, this is the women's match of the year, in my opinion. We had Toni Storm, timeless Toni Storm, the champion, taking on Mariah May, and we obviously know the story behind these two. Long-term storytelling, with Mariah May being Toni Storm's understudy for a long time, and then Mariah May turning on Toni Storm. Hard-hitting action from start to finish. Look, these two really put it all on the line, and the story that they had, story is king, guys. Story is king. The story that they had just highlighted every moment in this match. Toni landed a Storm Zero on the steel steps, which left Mariah May bleeding. The same way Mariah left Toni Storm bleeding, or not the same way, but Mariah left Toni Storm bleeding previously. Then they grabbed the shoe for a moment. That was going to be a feature in the match, but Toni Storm decided not to. Or something happened with the shoe. I can't quite remember. But the point is, she didn't end up using the shoe. Just a fantastic, fantastic match. And it led to Mariah May winning and becoming the new AEW Women's Champion. Fantastic, fantastic stuff, guys. Mariah May has gone from just, I wouldn't say an enhancement talent, but someone on the roster in Stardom to coming to AEW to absolutely shining, all the way to being the women's champion. Oh, speaking of Stardom, because it's another person that was there, Jamie Hayter made her return on the pre-show. Jamie Hayter's back. Maybe a little bit of Mariah May, Jamie Hayter at some point. I'm not going to complain, but fantastic stuff, honestly. Mariah May deserves it. Women's match of the year, hands down. I can't think of another one. Maybe you guys can, so let me know if you can think of another one. But for me, nothing comes close this year. We then had Hook and Jericho, and this was not good. This was the one low part on the show. Or not the one, but the lowest part of the show. Hands down. This was terrible. Big Bull, obviously, hometown pop. If you get the joke, you get it. But he's obviously not from the UK, but damn, this guy's over in the UK for some reason. But good for him, man. Good for him. We then had, obviously, Big Bull and Brian Keith got involved in the very beginning. We knew that was going to happen because it's FTR rules. So that means, or FTW rules. So that means anything can happen. Anything goes. They brought in cricket bats and cricket balls. Why? Because they're in the UK, so they think cricket. Weird. Got a bit dodgy when Hook was like hitting the cricket balls towards Chris Jericho. I was like, cricket balls flying around might not be the best option when you got fans on the side. Luckily, nobody got hurt. But I just feel like we've seen this match multiple times now. We've seen Jericho in hardcore matches multiple times now. We've seen Jericho in Hook in hardcore matches multiple times now. So it feels like they're doing the same stuff over and over and over. But in the end, Hook wins. He's the FTW champion once again. Oh, this is after Taz got involved. We all knew Taz would get involved. Or we were all hoping Taz would get involved somehow. He locked in the Tasmanian lock. What was it called again? He locked in his submission on Brian Keith, and that allowed Hook to lock in the same submission, and Hook got the win. We then moved on to the Young Bucks taking on FTR, taking on the Acclaimed, and the Acclaimed were the most over people in this match. As much as we say they've lost their momentum, I don't know. Maybe we're just bored of the same thing, but they were over as hell here in the UK. So maybe there's something wrong with us. Decent match, some great moments, some great combinations. We saw like FTR and the Acclaimed work together. Then we saw like the Acclaimed and the Young Bucks work together, and it was like interesting combinations that they were doing. It's what you'd expect from these guys, but not to the level that they've done previously, if that makes sense. So yeah, the finish felt a little bit flat as the Bucks landed the BTE trigger. What's it called now? Whatever it's called now. The EVP trigger. That's it. Landed the EVP trigger onto Dax Harwood. 1, 2, 3. They got the win. After the match, though, we got a surprise appearance from GYV, Grizzled Young Veterans, who obviously are from the UK, from Liverpool to be specific, and they got a huge pop. I think we heard that they got signed a while ago, but obviously just make the appearance until now. And there was a bit of a stay down between them and the Bucks, who obviously got the win, but then the Bucks rolled out, and then GYV took out FTR. So that's interesting. We'll see where that lands us. We then had, honestly, one of the most fun matches I've watched in AEW in a long time, and not fun for silly reasons, fun for just pure pro wrestling reasons. And that was the Casino Gauntlet match. So this is essentially like a Royal Rumble, but the first person to get a pin gets the win. So even if not everybody's in the ring yet and you pin, you win the match. So we saw people like, who did we see? We started off with Orange Cassidy and Okada. Interesting. Nigel McGuinness came in. Wow. Nigel McGuinness. We had Zack Sabre Jr. come in. But let me go back to Nigel McGuinness. Like, who would have thought? Nigel McGuinness, a big old 2024 in Wembley. 50,000 people there. Anyway, we had Zack Sabre Jr., another big pop for the greatest technical wrestler in the world. Who else did we have that got quite a pop? We had a Mark Briscoe. He got a decent pop. Mark Briscoe's always going to get a pop. Who else was in there that was real interesting? Ricochet. Ricochet came in. How can I forget that? Ricochet made his debut in AEW, ladies and gentlemen. Fantastic stuff. He was on fire, actually, as well. He was on fire. We then had Christian Cage come in, and yeah, he ended up getting the win thanks to Killswitch Luchasaurus, whatever his name is now, to be honest, who looked like he was going to attack him, didn't though, helped him in the end. Same old stuff we've seen for a while now, and I just don't get this match, man. I don't get this match. And can I be honest with you? Christian winning this told me that we were going to get Bryan Danielson winning tonight, because we've already seen Christian and Swerve Strickland, so they weren't going to do that again. I think it's like anywhere, any place, anytime. I'm not sure if that's the stipulation or if it just means any time is in advance, but it kind of told me that, listen, we're not getting that match again, so Danielson's winning tonight. That's what that told me, but maybe some people wouldn't pick that up, so it's not too much of a criticism. But Christian Cage then gets a title shot. We then moved on to MJF and Will Ospreay after their 1 hour long match on Dynamite a couple weeks ago, or weeks and weeks ago now. They had their rematch, and this was a fantastic match. Fantastic. Probably the second best match of the night. Yeah, I'd say so. Let's put it there for now. Great match, back and forth stuff. Then Daniel Garcia ended up getting involved later on in the match. Wow, we know where he's going now. He's not going to WWE. He's staying in AEW. He got stopped MJF from doing whatever MJF was about to do, and MJF looked absolutely shocked, and that allowed Will Ospreay to capitalize. In the end, Will Ospreay landed his Tiger Driver 91 and got the win off that nasty looking Tiger Driver, by the way. But that's what the story was all about. Will he land the Tiger Driver 91? Because obviously we saw Danielson tell him to do it a couple weeks ago, and well, he's done it. So Tiger Driver 91 landed. Will Ospreay wins back his international championship, gets back the original belt as well. No funny business. And yeah, great stuff. We then had Mercedes Moné taking on Britt Baker. Dull match. Just the positioning on the card didn't suit it. They tried to, I don't know, just have a little bit of a brawl, but didn't quite work. I don't know, something about this match just didn't feel right. Maybe they just don't work together well. Maybe that's just not what they meant for, to work together. But it just didn't work for me, this match. Mercedes Moné ended up getting the win from her Moneymaker. And 1, 2, 3, Mercedes Moné retains the TBS Championship. Yeah. What can I say? We then moved on to Jack Perry taking on Darby Allin. And this match went fairly quick and was fairly one-sided in favor of Jack Perry, which is surprising. Darby Allin took a lot of bumps, a shitload of bumps. Bumps into everything, off of everything, onto everything. That typical Darby Allin match, in other words. I kind of expected this from this match, and it felt like they knew they needed to do this sort of stuff, but it didn't quite hit like it should have. I don't know, maybe this card, maybe it just drew it, or we were just waiting for Danielson at this point. Maybe that was the issue. We were just waiting for Danielson. The match wasn't bad. Wasn't bad like the Mercedes Moné and Britt Baker match. This was just, hey, decent coffin match. But in the end, Jack Perry gets the win over Darby Allin, puts him in the coffin, closes the coffin, and wins. After the match, we see the Young Bucks come out with gasoline. They're pouring gasoline on the coffin. They want to set Darby Allin on fire, because that's what he did previously to Jack Perry. As they're busy doing it, lights go out. And you know what's coming now? It's Sting from our friend Tony Schiavone. And yeah, Sting came out, saved the day for Darby Allin, his friend Darby Allin. Huge pop. I'm sure a great moment for a lot of people in the crowd. And yeah, got to see Sting. And then we moved on to our main event. Bryan Danielson taking on Swerve Strickland. Bryan Danielson with the final countdown. Family at ringside. This was set up for his final countdown. But it didn't happen that way. Did not happen that way. This match went back and forth with actually Swerve doing most of the damage onto Danielson, getting most of the heat onto Danielson, making him bleed, holding him in front of his family, stomping him in front of his family, his wife and kids, trash talking his wife and kids, or Danielson's wife and kids, and just going back and forth and back and forth. Lands a Swerve stomp, Danielson kicks out. Lands a couple more moves, Danielson kicks out. Danielson then tries to go for the running knee, and it lands onto Swerve's chest, and he brushes it off. This is where you think, oh, damn, it's done for now. A little bit more of action, then Swerve starts doing the yes chants. But the crowd goes, no, no, no. As he's about to land, I assume that side kick that he does. Last call, is that what it's called? Hangman Adam Page comes from the crowd, looking for a fight. But the refs and security get him away, but that distracts Swerve, and that leaves an opportunity for Danielson to land the running knee again, and this time it clocks Swerve Strickland. They go back and forth, false finishes left, right, and center before Danielson finally lands the label lock. And this forces, after some time, Swerve Strickland to tap out. And we have a new AEW champion in Bryan Danielson. He is not retiring right now. The end of his career is not right now. What a moment. What a moment for the fans. What a moment for us at home. What a moment for Bryan Danielson. What a moment for his family. Great stuff. Great stuff. He then had his family in the ring, his wife, his kids. Awesome moments. Really awesome stuff. What does this mean for Swerve? I guess we'll find out. We know what it means. Hangman Adam Page, but yeah. amazing match, amazing moment, amazing card, amazing pay-per-view from AEW. You know, it's pay-per-views like this that really that restore the feeling, like they always say. But then they'll go and put it on a TV and you're like, it's just not the same. And then they'll do a pay-per-view and you think, oh, AEW is amazing. So I hope this is a platform for them to really kick off from. And I hope this is a platform for them to do some good numbers now that Danielson is champion. Nothing against Swerve whatsoever, but Danielson just has a name with other wrestling fans, you know. Swerve was an amazing champion, actually. The matches he had, honestly, he might have the best portfolio of work as AEW champion over everyone else, and I think that is not a hot topic, not a unpopular opinion. He might have the best portfolio of work as a champion. With that being said, guys, thank you for watching. This was my AEW All In review, and we'll see you guys next time. Take care. Peace.